Reb Matis Cohen said that when he was a gabbai by the Rebbetzin Rebbe, he asked the Rebbetzin Rebbe's Chus Yugen Aleinu, Chaim Zalman Ber Moshe. He asked him, how do I know if somebody's a true friend? And the Rebbetzin Rebbe told him that if somebody talks to you about somebody else, you should know that as soon as you walk away from him, he's going to talk to somebody else about you. If somebody's talking to you about other people, you're not the only one that's safe. And that's why our kids get so upset when we judge other people, because you're showing them you can't trust me. I'm not a trustworthy people. I'm judging other people. Our kids especially are so sensitive to it because they've been judged and considered lowlifes and manipulators and lazy and taking advantage. They have so many labels stamped on them that are wrong. So they can't stand judging other people. And that's why they'll go and they'll work. And after a month, they'll finally get their first paycheck. They see a homeless person, they'll give them the whole thing. They care about the homeless, and they care about dogs, and they care about anybody they have such bleeding hearts, and they can't stand it. And we come home, we talk about the Rav, we talk about the Shul, we talk about the Rebbe, we talk about this politics and that, and they cringe at the judgment that we have, Jew on Jew. They can't stand it, but they can't stand anybody. Jew on guy, they'll defend the Palestinians. They'll defend anybody who's weaker. They will jump to defend. Any minority, anybody. Why? Because that's who they are. They're the minority. They were crushed by a beautiful life that we have in a system that judged them because of pain that other people did to them, and decided that they're bad influence, they're this bad midah, they're lazy, they're that. And meanwhile, it wasn't really true. So if we're not going to purify ourselves for real and stop judging people, they're never going to get real with us. It's the scariest thing to open yourself up to somebody who doesn't get it. It's the scariest thing. They're so scared that they'll tell you little things and they'll see how you react. And when you act normal, forget it. Yeah, just go, you'll feel better. Just go, always pushing, always do better, always you could do better. That's meant for ourselves. I saw the most beautiful Nesiv Shalom. I couldn't believe when I saw this. He says, Musar Sfarim and Hasidish Sfarim are meant for yourself, not for other people. We go learn Musar and Hasidus, we get fired up, and then we go tell other people, you got to improve yourself, and you got to be better. It's time to take it. It's meant for you. Let's see you move and change. When it comes to other people, they need compassion. They need non-judgment. We have to become humble. That's the tzaddikim. Why are the tzaddikim always not judging people? Why does Reb Gershon Edelstein, the Shiva of Panovich, the Talmud of the Chazon Ish, probably last link to the Chazon Ish? He says that you're not allowed to judge people even b'machshava. Forget about b'dibur. Forget about talking lashon hara about people. Lashon hara is bad only after you judged. He said you shouldn't even judge in your machshava. The tzaddikim don't want us to judge other Jews. Tzaddikim don't want us to judge anybody. We have to believe that every Jew is a chelik l'kam mimal mamish. We have to believe that they're doing their best. And if they're not achieving the success that they should, according to your expectations and there's a reason. They're struggling. And our job is to help them with their struggle by embracing them and giving them the emotional energy. That's muscle. How do you lift 100 pounds? You build muscle. They need emotional muscle that they get when people believe in them. And then over time, they can believe in themselves. That's our job. That's a full-time job. But if you judge, if you look down, these kids will run away with you. They'll run away from you. They can't take it. They cringe. You all know that. They cringe. They can't take the judgment. You think you're better than me? You think you're better than him? You don't know his story. How could you say that, right? This is what they say. How could you judge? How could he? And the truth is, they're right. They're right. And we lost the Beis HaMikdash over this. We lost so much over this. And they're right. We have a lot to learn. So the problem of judgment is not that I said something wrong. It's how did I get to that? How did I get to say that? It means that my advice to you is a misdiagnosis. That means that I'm looking at you for 3 years or whatever time, and I came to the conclusion that you're a eisnitzer, you're lazy, you're bad, you're stupid, and you could do much better. And when any kid in pain or any human being feels that that's the way you look at them, they're never opening up to you. And then they're going to feel like, okay, so where do I go? Where do I find this acceptance? They're dying for acceptance. They're dying for someone to look at them and see their pain and see through their dysfunction and see their neshama and see their nefesh, see like that x-ray of the broken ribs all over. Why can't you see that? You're looking right at it. And instead we'll smack on a label that's like lazy, bad midos, whatever. No, you're looking at broken ribs. Make sense? You're looking at a broken person. Now, someone took a sledgehammer to this thing, but the thing is there's no x-ray. So you got to believe. You got to believe in your kid. You're wonderful parents. You did a great job. You sent them to a great chinuch system, and now you're looking at a broken person. Something happened that you did not see. The only way to get them to ever open up is if we purify ourselves to such a degree that we just don't judge anybody. And the truth is, we should be done with that already. It's time to give that up. The whole judgment thing, and think about how many things come out of our mouth, how many things we say, how many things I hear. About 100 different discussions in shul, in the bungalow colony, this and that. Everybody's talking about other people, and everything's judgment, and it gets repeated. And like, how do you know? Like, maybe not. Maybe it's no. I know that. Who knows? How does anybody know? Nobody knows. I want to tell you something. Even if the guy tells you himself, doesn't mean he told you the truth. Sometimes people say different things to different people. They have time. They just throw away lines. Yeah, sure, I wanted to do it. Yeah. Oh, I heard it. Yeah, he really wanted to do it. Nobody knows about other people. And people are complex. People have layers, right? The point is we have to purify ourselves. When we are inside, internally, and this is really what it's all about, totally non-judgmental of anybody and anything, kamayim apanim lapanim kein leifa adam la'adam. They will sense that. They will feel that, right? And then we could say a vart that I thought of. I don't know if it says it anywhere, but I think it's my own. The kamayim, just like water, can change a dirty face to a clean face. So too, leiv ha'adam, a clean leiv, a pure leiv, can change a adam that's struggling and has deficiencies to being a pure, fresh, clean adam. You're baking your love is baking it's like you look in the oven, you see the challah. When does it actually? It's a process. You're baking your love and your pure way that you feel about other people into these neshamas, into these struggling people, and eventually they heal, and they look for healing, and they find healing, and they become better, and then you'll realize, like, I could have lost all of that by constantly thinking he could do better. What if he can't? I'm telling you, he can't. When they can, they will. Motivate him, not by bribing him and not by pushing him. The motivation is by believing in him. And therefore, he will sense that I could be comfortable right now being dysfunctional. I don't have to come up with another excuse why I'm not working. I got to come up with, do you know the worst thing in the world? They're scared to go to simchas. They're scared. They're scared to go outside. So what do you do? What yeshiva are you in? So what do you do? I can't go. Okay, you have to smoke up in order to go to a vart. Fine, very stressful. Stressful? Ask any healthy person. Take all of the parenting books about healthy kids and all those diagnoses that you're thinking that the kid has and all the labels. Does any of that apply to somebody who finds going to a vart stressful? No. He's sick. Throw it all out. Don't misdiagnose your kids with normal thinking. They're not normal. It's not hard to go to a vart. I've been to many of them. It's really not difficult. And it's not stressful. There is nothing stressful about a vart unless you're dysfunctional. So tell him, if you're scared that someone's going to ask you what your job is, I have a great idea. Why don't you work? He can't. Rabbeinu Shalom, he cannot do better. You know when the best time of their life is? When they get a job that tells them you're going to start in 2 weeks. For those 2 weeks, I'm in real estate. I'm in nursing homes, and they don't have to wake up early and actually show up and deal with stuff and function.